While he can navigate his way around the fretboard, George Gruen is much better known for his shop that sells guitars. Vintage, new, and everything in between. He's been open in Nashville for 50 years, but the pandemic is a force that is silencing the city and unlike anything Gruen has ever had to deal with.
Right now, I see signs that there are plenty of people getting increasingly nervous. Now they're realizing that this is not going to be over in 3 or 4 months.
Early on, COVID-19 forced Gruen's to close temporarily, but he still found a way to move instruments.
Gruen guitars? No, you can do it online.
And we went from a crew of 25 to a crew of 5.
Exactly.
And we answered the phone, we answered emails, we processed online orders.
That's right, it's the Jensen design.
But the public was not in at all.
Even today, the showroom is limited to just 4 customers at a time. It's not a stretch to say anybody who is anyone in country music has passed through these doors.
When I was a child, my family would travel.
In late December, Gruen cut a deal with legendary singer-songwriter John Prine and ended up with Prine's 1939 Gibson acoustic guitar. Little did Gruen know that in a few months, COVID-19 would claim Prine's life.
It hurts that I'm happy to show the Prine guitar, and yes, I can sell it for more money than it would have brought otherwise, but I'd so much rather have him back.
Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County?
Prine's timeless tunes live on and are constantly covered. Pre-COVID, Rob Harris would play 2 or 3 gigs a week in Nashville. Tonight, he feels lucky working for tips.
For a town that is known as Music City, it seemed to hit even harder here because we have so much live music normally. There are a lot of musicians who are struggling financially.
While he counts his blessings playing public from time to time now, he has another reason to be thankful. He's alive after suffering through a punishing bout of the coronavirus. Sequestered in his own house, alone, weak, and struggling to breathe.
It was really lonely. In addition to dealing with the symptoms, there was a loneliness factor that not a lot of people talk about.
Not far away, Ranger Doug of Riders in the Sky. In his hat and kerchief, he cuts a portrait of a polished performer. If you don't know his band, you may recognize this from the animated film hit Toy Story 2.
What is Roundup? Come on, it's time to play. There's Jessie the yodeling cowgirl. Odelay, odelay, odelay.
Each of these stick pins represents a show that Ranger Doug has played. 7,300 in all, but since March, nothing.
It feels a little bit like a limb's been cut off. And of course my income stream was, it's just like you turned off that faucet there, there's just nothing coming in.
Today he is working as a part-time lifeguard, waiting to get back on stage. All this could be rectified by reopening clubs and bars for live music. But when Nashville tried that, this is what happened. Few masks and even less social distancing. So the city shut down all the honky-tonks and bars in the popular Lower Broadway section.
The managers of these clubs say they can't control what patrons do once they leave the bars. But the owners of the honky-tonks believe they are being selectively targeted by the city and have filed a federal lawsuit in an effort to reopen and allow people once again to pour in and out of these doors and on to Lower Broadway.
That area is this city. Lower Broadway put Nashville on the map. That is exactly what it did.
Among others, attorney Brian Lewis represents the owner of a bar called Tootsie's, a well-known haunt. He believes Nashville's response has been an economic killer and is little more than a vendetta by the mayor to hang a black hat on someone.
I do not believe that people should be permitted to be in those crowded bars with or without a mask at this time, because we know that they are a hotbed of infection.
Gruen knows a lot of businesses simply hanging on will go under. His online sales have proved to be his economic salvation. In fact, business was only down 17% in the second quarter from the previous year.
This guitar, it's not the most valuable guitar I own, so far as dollar value, but it's my favorite.
And his big plans to celebrate half a century of business.
Now, I had fears when they first shut business down. I had fears that the 50th could be our last.
There is still a missing chord in this macabre melody. No one knows how long or how deep COVID-19 will cut, or what this will do to the chorus of music that is uniquely American, or what the city will look like once it emerges from the pandemic. Sean Callebs, CGTN, Nashville, Tennessee.